Hello everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Welcome back to the shop for another episode of What's on My Rod. This is Heavy Z Fishing. Okay, so it's been a little while since I've done What's on My Rod, and I know I had it lined up in the past where I drew numbers out of a hat and went by that rod. Well, I don't even know what rods those were anymore. I've got different reels on different rods. I've got new rods. I've got new baits, all kinds of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose a rod on the wall behind me that should be applicable for the season that we're in right now. So, without further ado, this is the rod we're going to talk about. Now, first, I have multiple different rods that are very, very good multi-purpose use rods, different applications for one rod. But every once in a while, I have a couple of rods that are technique specific. I have a jerkbait rod. That's the only thing that gets thrown on it. I have a glass chatterbait rod. It's all that gets thrown on it. And I have this. This is my fluke rod, aka soft jerkbait. And before we get into the rod now, this is a great bait to use, especially in the springtime, especially in the fall time as well. And it's even applicable in wintertime as well. Just a weightless jerkbait, soft jerkbait. Now, let's start with the rod and reel combo. Okay, so this rod is a 13 fishing Omen 3 black. Okay, now, this is going to may sound a little odd to some people, but this is actually their cranking series. This is a crankbait rod. Okay, it's a 7'1" moderate cranking. Let's see if I can get that in there. 7'1" moderate cranking. Now, why do I like this as a fluke rod? Well, initially I didn't. Initially I bought this for throwing small square bills and just smaller overall crankbaits. And then for one reason out of the blue, I tied a fluke on there. And I tell you what, I have caught some really good quality fish just throwing this guy right here, just like this. Now, let's see if we can get this in. It's got that cranking action, but man, look at that. See that tip? It's a long, soft tip, but then you get a really, really pretty solid backbone. I don't know what it is about this rod, but it is great for a fluke. I have no problem ripping hook sets and just holding on. I actually caught my biggest bass out of the kayak on this setup right here. It was in one of our past videos. It was 8.06 largemouth. I caught it on this setup right here. So anyway, all right, so the rod, back to the rod. 13 fishing Omen Black 3. Split grips, cork handle, which is fine. I'm more in tune with the Savage Battletechs because they have like the EVA foam, which, only time will tell, but I believe that foam is going to last a little bit longer than this actual cork wheel. But still, it's very cool. Black and white. It looks great. Just looks great. Solid black rod. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, so this is their Omen 3 Black Series. I believe that this rod is coming in at $139.99 on Tackle Warehouse. What else do I like about this rod? Man, it's decent. Here's their hook keeper on that. See that hook keeper? The only thing I like the U-shaped hook keepers, because if it was a U-shaped, I could have this bad boy text post ready to go, and then I could just loop it on that U-shaped hook keeper. This one, you can't. You actually got to take that hook point out and put it in, but that does make sense because this is a crankbait rod, so they designed it for treble hooks. So, okay, that makes sense. I can't knock them for that, but I don't throw cranks on this. Straight up soft jerkbait. Okay, so $139.99. Man, you got that good parabolic bend, I could only imagine. I have not caught, I did throw crankbaits on this. I haven't caught a crankbait fish on this particular rod, but I can only imagine that this would be excellent for like smaller square bills and stuff. And you know what we may do in the future? Start running straight 14-pound fluoro on this, 14, 15-pound fluorocarbon, and then I could just bounce back. Boom, fluke, square bill, fluke, square bill, you know, boom, we may do that. Okay, in throwing a weightless, soft jerkbait, it's a lighter bait, doesn't weigh a whole lot, right? So I need a reel that's gonna be able to handle very, very light lures. And I went with none other than one of my favorites, the Shimano SLX DC. Now, I know many people in the fishing world know about the SLX DCs. These are spectacular, spectacular reels. Okay, I've got this in a 7-to-2 gear ratio. I like a little bit of a faster retreat because sometimes I slow down the fluke, give it a couple of twitches. There's a little bit of slack there. I just want to pick up the slack, you know, a little bit faster. So I went with the 7-2-1. Now, SLX DC, that DC stands for digitally controlled. There is a chip inside of here. And when you cast it out, it goes, that's my best impersonation I can do. What that chip is doing is it is based on your settings here, 1 through 4. It is controlling, basically it's making it backlash free. Now you can still backlash some of these, but for lighter baits, this reel is awesome. And now the settings, I don't remember quite exactly what the settings are. One, I believe, is for braid. You got one for braid, mono, fluoro, and then you got one for, actually I think one might be like perfect calm conditions. 2, I think, is braid or fluoro. 3 is mono, something like that. And then 4 is like heavy, high winds or skipping baits. So it's really cool. You can set it up like that. It's got a good amount of drag. Don't quote me. I don't remember how much drag it actually had, but hey, it caught an 8-pounder, so I'm not complaining. And I believe these reels are coming in at $180 and 99 cents or $189.99 is what these are coming in. So I mean, you're looking at a $200 reel and, you know, probably a $150 rod after taxes and everything. You know, you're in this bad boy right here, $350. So that's the only dislike on the reel, even though, you know, it's $180, but man, it's well worth it in my opinion. So what else are we talking about? And it just looks really good, you know, aesthetically pleasing. I like my rod and reels to look good and kind of match. Man, I love the black reel. You got a little bit of blue accents. I think it just pops. Looks really, really good. Okay, now let's go into a little bit on exactly how I fish the fluke, what type of flukes I use, and line. So right now, how I've been fishing this predominantly for the past couple of years is braid to a fluorocarbon leader. So this is 30-pound braid. I'm not even sure what kind of braid it is. It's probably Berkeley X5. I think it's Berkeley X5, 30-pound braid. And then I've got Yozuri Top Knot, 14-pound fluorocarbon leader. And then I do the Brent Ehler, I think he calls it the RP knot. You can look it up on YouTube. The knot to connect your braid to fluoro. And then I use a 4/0 EWG hook. I believe this is just an owner EWG. I like the owners. I like the Trocar Magworm EWG as well. So that's what I run. Why am I running that? Because I'm chunking and grinding this thing a lot. And the braid is going to last damn near all year round. So you don't have to worry about changing out the braid. The only thing you have to do is change out your leader from time to time. Actually, every time I go fishing, if I'm taking this, I change the leader out every time. And leader length, I usually, so I'll tie my leader and then I'll reel the knot up all the way to the top, and then I'll take my fluoro and measure it all the way down halfway to the handle. I'll cut it there, and then I tie my knot. And I found that that's actually the perfect length, that your knot is not going to get all the way into the reel, because some reels won't allow that. I'm not sure about this one, but your knot usually stops. I don't even know where my knot is. So I've got it anchored right here, almost at the very tip. There's my knot. You can see that, maybe not, right there. If you're looking for a good fluke rod, this is my jam right here. I have one other rod that I used to throw the fluke on, and it's not bad. I caught some good fish on it. It's just a little bit of a lighter action to it. It didn't have, I don't want that much backbone, but it didn't have quite as much as this. It still works great, but this right here, creme de la creme. Okay, let's pause and let me show you some soft jerkbaits that I use. Okay, now we're back. Now we're here to talk about, there are predominantly 3 different types of soft jerkbaits that I actually use. And now, why is the soft jerkbait so great? Because if you've got schooling fish or feeding fish and you throw this into the middle of it, let it sink just a little bit, and you twitch it pretty hard, that thing will just dart and sit. Dart and sit. Man, it's got a great action, and I love it, man. It's really, really fun. It's a good follow-up bait, too. I like to combo it with a chatterbait a lot. If I'm getting short striked on a chatterbait, throw a fluke back in there, see what happens. Sometimes I get bit, sometimes I don't. But anyway, let's start with the 3 I use. So the 6 cents flush, right? I'm not the biggest fan of these, but I do like them because of the different profile and the different presentation you're going to get, especially with the fins on the side there, little split tail. And I mean, they are some dope colors. So, and all these are going to be thrown on the same 4/0 EWG hook. 6 cents flush. And of course, the Jawtech Little Shad. That's actually what caught my 8-pounder, was a Jawtech Little Shad. I mean, just a great little fluke style bait, and this one I believe is in Kiwi. It's got a 3, like a Trident split tail. Really cool. Good little bait. Not as durable as the flush. Whenever I'm getting on a good little shad bite, I tend to go through quite a few of them, but hey, if it's catching fish, I don't care. And these, Bass Assassin, the Bass Assassin Shad in Morning Glory. I'm really digging these because of their thickness. It's got a little bit more mass to it. Got a little bit more thickness to it. And, dude, they make some dope colors. So that's Bass Assassin. They've been around for a while. I think they've revamped their look. And then, of course, I forgot to get them. Every once in a while, I'll do just the OG Zoom Super Fluke. So, that's it. If you are looking for a good, this is going to sound weird, a good crankbait, weightless jerkbait rod, the 7'1" cranking stick from 13 Fishing in Omen Black 3 with an SLX DC with either braid, 30-pound braid to a 14-pound fluorocarbon leader or 14 to 16-pound straight fluoro. You can't go wrong. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Dylan Zamalik with Heavy Z Fishing, and I will catch you on the flip side. Peace.